Please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get the regular updates of my channel, and do not forget to like, comment and share. Hello everyone, welcome back to SaaS with ServiceNow. This is part of training for learning JavaScript with ServiceNow. The next topic is objects in JavaScript. What are objects in JavaScript? Object is a data type of variable in JavaScript, which also contains multiple values similar to array, but declaration is different from array. Objects in JavaScript has properties and methods. The syntax of declaring objects in JavaScript is you create a variable like employee in this example with var keyword. And then you put equal operator, and then you put curly brackets, opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket. Now in curly brackets, you provide a name and its value in quotes after colon. And this employee variable is considered as object in JavaScript. So this is how you declare an object in JavaScript. Overall, objects consist of properties and their values. So if you see this example, in this example, employee is an object, and first name, last name and EID are properties of employee object. And then we have John, Cooper, and 1, 2, 3, 4, these are values of the properties of employee object. So we have employee, which is an object. That employee has different properties like first name, last name, employee ID. And all these properties have some values. You can also access value of properties of objects. You just need to mention, so for example, you have an object employee, where you have first name John, last name Cooper, and employee ID as 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all properties and we have their values. So let's say you have to access value of these properties. Maybe you have to print first name. How exactly you can access it? So in that case, you have to mention the object name. The same object, in this example, we have employee as an object. And then you have to put dot, and then after dot, you have to put the name of the property. So in this case, we have first name as one property. If you have to print all the properties, then you have to use employee.lastname, employee.EID. So that's how you access values of properties in an object in JavaScript. So in this case, employee.firstname will print John. So if you have to print John, then you have to use that particular property. So you can store this value in any variable. So let's say you have to print it. In that case, you can put this value while you are accessing that object property. In that case, you can, for example, you can do var a equal to employee.firstname. That means a will store John, the value John. Methods. Objects can also have methods in JavaScript. Like you have properties and their values. Similarly, objects can also have methods. Methods are basically actions which can be performed on objects. In this example, name is a function, which is also a property. So overall, name becomes a method of employee object. Now this function is returning the value of clubbing of first name and last name, which are also the properties of employee object. So if you can see, we have first name, which is definitely a property of employee object. We have last name as well. So what exactly we are returning? We are returning this dot first name plus this dot last name. That means I can access the properties. So if I am mentioning a function within an object and I have to access the value of a property in that particular object, then I have to use this keyword. So if you have to store that value, then you have to use this dot the property plus this dot second property. And if you have to add it, or if you don't have to club these values, that's totally fine. But if you have to use any property of that particular object, then you can use this dot and then name of the property. So in this particular example, we are just returning first name plus last name. That means it will club John space Cooper. I think we have not added space, so it will just start Cooper after John. But overall, if you want to club or you want to perform any other action, you can do with the help of these methods in an object in JavaScript. Now, once you have mentioned these methods in an object, you can also access them. Now, how exactly you access those methods in JavaScript? Like if you have a method in an object in JavaScript, how exactly you can access it? So in this example, name is a method, as I mentioned. So that means it is a function and it is returning, basically clubbing the value of first name and last name. And in that case, if you have to access this name method, because name is also one of the property we have. Anyhow, it's definitely a method which we have in this particular object, but at the same time, it is also a property. So how exactly I can access this particular method? So in order to access this name, you have to again use the object first. So you have to start with the object. So employee is an object in this particular example. Then you put dot, and then you put the name of the method which you have mentioned in your object. So in this case, that is name. I'm definitely telling the name. It's actual name, but even in this example, I have taken it as a name because that's the name of the employee. And then you have to mention brackets. So once you will mention the bracket, now why we are mentioning the bracket? Because that's a difference. If you will see the difference between accessing a property and accessing a method of an object. So property of an object, accessing a method of an object, it's totally different. So in this case, if I have to access method, in that case, I will use object name dot the name of the method, and then I will use brackets. In that case, I will be able to access the whole name. That means whatever that method will be returning. So in this case, it is returning John Cooper. And if you will store this employee.name in any variable, or maybe you have to print it directly, then you can print it. In that case, it will directly print that particular name, John Cooper. Now let's understand this with practical examples in ServiceNow so that you can have more practical scenarios. You can see more practical scenarios that how exactly object works in JavaScript. So specifically in ServiceNow as well, but as I mentioned, this is specifically related to JavaScript right now because we will have some more practical sessions where we will use objects, arrays, and different type of variables we have in ServiceNow scripting as well, which you will see later. But I'm just going to show you that how object works in JavaScript with example in ServiceNow, and that is also background script. This is my personal developer instance. Now let's say we have 3 variables, and those variables are first name, last name, and phone number. Now all these variables are related to a person, any person. So I'm just writing any. These variables are related to a person. Now if I have to print these values, let's say separately, I have to declare them. So how exactly I will declare them? So I will not use person, because I just need to print first name, last name, and phone number. So I will just quickly start with creating these properties, like all these variables we have. I will create them as a variable, and maybe I will put them, let's say where first name is Bill. I will do where last name equal to, I will put maybe Gates. and then I will do where phone number equal to, and I will put it as a string as well. So maybe I will just do like this. That's it. Now, if I have to print them, so what I will do, because I'm declaring them separately, all these first name, last name, phone number, and I can also print them. So let me just quickly show you. So if I have to print them, so I will just come over here, copy this. Maybe I will do plus, and I will copy this one. I'm not adding any comma. Maybe let's add it. It'll be really easy to read. So I will add a string. Maybe I will do hyphen, and then I will do plus over here, and then I will add hyphen again, and that's it. And here I will add plus, and I can print all these values together. So I think we should be good. If I click run, you will see that all these values are printed over here. So we got the output, Bill Gates, and we have this phone number. Now, as I mentioned, like all these variables, they are related to a person. That means person is an object. This person is an object. And all of these are properties, because that's how you recognize a person. So if you have maybe a person, how exactly you will recognize that, hey, he is maybe Bill Gates or he is Michael? How you will recognize? Definitely with some unique things like first name, last name, and phone number. And phone number will always be unique for different people. So in that case, what I will do now, I will just remove this from here. So let's say all these variables which we are talking about, these are properties. And these properties are related to which particular object? That is person. So person is an object. So what I will do, I will start with declaring a variable. So I will start with var, and I will make it person. I will do equal to, and I will put curly brackets as I mentioned earlier. Now here I will put all the properties. Now this person object has 3 properties. First name, so I will put first name, and then I have last name, and then I have phone number. And now I will give value. So this person is an object. All these are properties, and now I will provide values. So these are string values. So I will put first name equal to, I will put Bill. I'm giving the same values which we printed earlier. I will do comma, and here I will give Gates, comma, and here I will give phone number. That is also a string. That's totally fine. I think this one. That's it. So this became my phone number, like the phone number for this particular person. So as I mentioned in this case, because now I have declared an object. So this person is definitely a variable, but the data type of this variable is object in JavaScript. Because this is JavaScript, we are writing a JavaScript over here. So this becomes a JavaScript variable, that is an object variable. So now if I have to print these values now, so initially we printed them directly because as we declared all the variables separately. But here we have not used variables. Variable in this case we have this. Person is a variable. First name, last name, and phone number, they are not variables. They are properties of this particular person variable. So what I will do, now I will print these values. So I have to do gs.print. Or maybe let's do one thing. I have to access these values, all the properties, the values of these properties. So what I will do, I will start with var fn, that is first name. In order to access first name, what exactly I need to do? I have to start with an object name, the name which we have used, that is person. I will dot, and then I will use the same property, I will copy this, put it over here, and I will do semicolon because this is a property, so no brackets. So I will just put object name and the property name, and then I will go for next line. That will be ln. Now this is last name, so I will do person dot. I will copy this one, put it over here, and then I will do semicolon, and the last one is phone number, that is pn, and I will do person dot, and I will copy this one, put it like this, and then I will do semicolon. Now I have to print them, so I can directly print. So let's print them, fn. You will see same output because I'm using hyphen again, and you will see same output, but our code is different because I have put in all the values in object, and here we have fn, ln, and then I will give hyphen again, and I will give this time pn, and I will give semicolon. I think, yeah, so we are done with the script because I'm able to access all these values, and you will see that this will print as is the whatever output we had earlier. It will print same output because we are storing all these values in these variables. And now if I run this, you can see same output, not even a difference of dot. We got same output with the help of this printing the object. So we are able to access the properties we have in this person object. So this is how you create objects in JavaScript. Now let's say you have to add one more property, which is basically clubbing of first name and last name. So because we have first name and last name, which are already properties of this person, but now I have to access a club of these values. So how can you do that? So in that case, what we will do, we will add another property, and that another property would be, so maybe I will add full name like this, and I will add function over here, and then I will add like this, and I will curly brackets because I'm using function. So function should always have curly brackets. Now in this curly bracket, I have to write a code. What code I have to write? I will write return because that's what I want to return from this function. Now we have not talked about function yet, so don't get confused because we will talk more about functions and methods in later sections. So in this case, what I will do, return, and I will use this keyword. This keyword, as I mentioned earlier, if you're using a function, if you're using an object, and if you have to access the properties of those objects in the same object by using method, then you can use this. So in that case, I will do first name plus, and I can maybe give space, and then I can add here maybe this dot last name, and then I will do semicolon. That's it. So I have given this method. So full name is basically the method. So as we were talking about, an object has properties and methods. So these are properties which we have already printed, and this full name is method of this person object. Now I have to print this full name. So how can I access this full name? It is quite similar, but we have to change the code a little bit. Like here, you didn't put anything like brackets, but for method, you have to put it. So in that case, I will just remove this. And what I will do, maybe I will put var fn. Fn is a full name this time. And I will print person. So I will start with mentioning the name of the object, that is person. And then I will put that method. So, or maybe I will start with this. Oh, that's fine. I think I can put person dot, and I can put full name and this brackets. That's it. And here I can do semicolon. That's fine. And now I will remove this, and here I will write, let's say my name is, okay, good. I can put plus, and here I can put FN, and I can put, and my number is, and I can put PN. That's a phone number, but I have not declared over here. I'm not storing that value, so I have to store it. So maybe I have to use PN again, and I will quickly do, because first name and last name will automatically be clubbed over here, and the rest is your phone number. So I will use it here for a person dot, I will do phone number semicolon. That's it. So we have my name is this, and I will do, and my number is this, PN. That's it. So you will see that it will show the output as my name is Bill Gates and my number is this. That's what you will see, and my number is this. That's what. So that's how you can access methods as well. So let me run this. It says property. I think we did some mistake maybe. Let me quickly check. So I think we missed comma over here. So you can see we didn't add comma. And I think these are the, I would say, minute mistakes. So you have to make sure that you are putting the right syntax. So syntax is, I would say, much important in JavaScript. So you can see I did not add comma, but now comma is added, and I'm 100% sure now that this should give proper output which we are expecting. So I will run the script, and this time you can see I got my name is Bill Gates and my number is this. You can see without any issue we are able to access methods as well. So this way you also access methods of an object in JavaScript. So you can access properties, you can access methods as well. So you can club different values, you can do different type of calculations in the object as well. And if you want to access existing properties, then you can also use this keyword. So stay tuned for our next lesson on conditions in JavaScript. Thank you and have a great day.